What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. In this video, I'm going to take you along with me to a local truck show called Truckers for Hope in Mill Hall, Pennsylvania. I'm at the car wash right now. We're going to be taking Fred, my LBZ Duramax. Last year I brought Betsy, my supercharged trail boss. I was going to bring both, but don't have anybody to drive the second truck. Unfortunately, my wife is working right now. So we're going to take Fred this year, and they are doing a ruler of the road competition for trucks, for pickups. They're doing a dyno, sled pulls, and dirt drags. And the winner of those three, the highest scoring between those three, gets the ruler of the road award. I'm not going to be participating in that, even though I could if I wanted to. I just don't really want to put a beating on Fred. He's in great shape, and I really don't feel like fixing a broken drive shaft or exploded U-joint or something like that. You know, he's still got the stock transmission, the Allison 1000, which is a very stout transmission, but obviously doing sled pulls and dirt drags and things like that, you put a beating on the truck. But I'm just gonna give Fred a good wash right now, and mostly just gonna show him off at the show and shine, which is what I did last year with Betsy. So also I'm going to ask if I can park next to the big rigs for the light show. So this is a charity truck show for cystic fibrosis. And I actually had a buddy of mine in college who had cystic fibrosis. And I remember all the limitations it gave him to his life. I remember we used to work out together, and he couldn't work out really hard because he would get winded. And, eventually he passed away, sadly, in his late 20s, a couple of years after college. And so this show is kind of personal for me. But they do have big rigs. That's the main thing with this show. They have big rigs. And they're doing not just sled pulls for the pickup trucks, but they're doing sled pulls for the semis and also for tractors. And they're also going to be doing semi drag racing, which is really cool. And then they put on what they call a light show right around sunset, and just after sunset on every night of the show, all the big rigs park. There's like 100 of them. And they park and they turn their lights on and they idle and they honk their horns. And so I'm hoping they let me park next to them, because I got all these chicken lights that I custom wired, as you guys probably know. As you can see, these are big rig style chicken lights, so hopefully they'll let me park next to them and run my lights and stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna wash Fred up real good, and then we'll head to the show. It's a little bit late, so I got to hurry up. And then tomorrow's going to be the big day. They're going to have the dyno all day. They're going to have the dyno, and they're going to be doing drag racing, sled pulling. It's going to be awesome. So, and then they do fireworks. They also have a famous country musician, artist, Chad Brock. They always have a famous country music person every year. I think they had Confederate Railroad a couple of years ago. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll take you guys along. Stay tuned. Alright guys, we're on our way to the show. I wanted to show you guys the beautiful farm country here. Really pretty. Pennsylvania countryside is super pleasant and very, very aesthetic. It's just like an old school vibe. It's like going back in time to like the 1980s or something, you know. It's like time stood still over here. There's a lot of Amish in this part of Pennsylvania. Pretty much all of Pennsylvania outside of Philly and Pittsburgh, you got a lot of Amish, and a lot of times you'll see them going down the road in their buggies with their horses. Sadly, there's actually a lot of accidents. A lot of people crash into those Amish buggies, especially at night when the visibility is bad, when it's dark, because those buggies are black and they don't have lights, you know, they just have like little orange lamps and a reflector. They put some kind of like triangle reflector usually, but you know, if you're going on a road like this that has a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit, and you know it's dark and there's a Amish buggy going 15 miles an hour, you know, it's very abrupt, you know. And I've had one close call at night. Almost had to like swerve pretty bad. So if you're driving through rural Pennsylvania, just be on the lookout for Amish, especially if you see the Amish buggy signs, and especially after dark. So there's been also situations where drunk drivers crash into them, which is really sad. There was one, I think like 2 weeks ago, not far from where we're going. Drunk driver basically crashed into an Amish buggy, and I think the Amish people in the buggy were sent to the hospital, and the horse had to be euthanized on the spot because it was severely injured. So yeah, you got to watch out for the Amish paradise. We got some Amish right here. It's such a pleasant evening. It's 66 degrees Fahrenheit right now. It's just amazing for late June. Usually by now it's like 80s and humid. So actually Pennsylvania summers are not too bad. You know, you endure that long winter, the brutal winters, which can last, you know, several months, half the year. I mean, there's usually some type of snow or ice at least 6 months out of the year, you know, in some form. So you wait all this time for summer, and then when summer comes, it's just totally amazing. Everybody's out, you know, just enjoying the weather, fishing, going to truck shows, going to fairs, just spending time in their people spend time in their yards with their kids, you know, just soaking it all up before winter comes back. You know, it's kind of like it's like a pause from winter. So winter really has a stranglehold. So it's just like a short relief before winter comes back. Wow, look at the view here. It's just amazing. Corn started to grow pretty good in the last week or so. We finally got some rain. It was pretty dry spring, like May. We had a very dry May into early June, and seems like the pattern has stabilized and we're getting more rain now. So the corn is growing up now. A lot of the crops are growing. It was pretty dry though, right around planting season. It was pretty dry, which is obviously like the worst time for farmers, for it to be a dry spring. That's critical for planting. Is you know, you want the soil to be moist, not too moist, but you know, seeds, they need rain, you know. You don't want it to be like flooding rain or anything like that, because that's bad too. But look at all the soybeans here. Last year we had a lot of farmers just mostly planting corn, exclusively corn. This year it seems to be more of a mix. I haven't seen as much wheat though as like years past. Like 2-3 years ago there was a really good wheat year. All the farmers were planting wheat, and right around mid to late summer, when the wheat is ready to cut, it turns that golden yellow color. You're just driving through this type of area and you just see these massive fields of gold everywhere. It looks so cool. But yeah, I haven't seen too much wheat lately. It's mostly looks like soybeans and corn this year. Last year a lot of corn, mostly corn. Everybody was planting corn mostly. I'm not a farmer, but you know, I know a decent amount. I assume that has a lot to do with the price of corn on the markets. So farmers, they plant what pays the most, what they can resell and make the most money on, you know. So what's nice about Pennsylvania farms is that most of them are family owned. They're not owned by companies, big companies like corporations or Chinese, you know, Chinese companies or the Chinese government. You know, most of the farms in Pennsylvania are family owned, and I think PA has the most family owned farms of any state. So it's kind of like going back in time, you know, to like the 1950s through 1980s, 1990s, when most of the farms in the US were family owned. It's really just like in the last 20 years, 10-20 years, that you have all these mega companies now buying up farms, and the farmers just work for those companies. They farm the land, but they don't own the land. They don't own the equipment, or they don't have any investment really. They're just caretakers for the company, essentially, is what they are, which is really sad, you know. So we got to support the family farms. Farming is critical. A lot of people, you know, don't realize, but because I live in an area with a lot of agriculture, you know, I see these farmers and how they work, and you know, it's critical. Look, see, you can see the gold and yellow there. That's wheat. See those fields of wheat right there? Wow, look at that. It looks just so cool. You know, farmers are kind of like the unsung heroes, in my opinion, in this country. You know, they provide a massive service, very, very important service. So got to support our farmers, you know, any way we can. Got to lobby for them. We got to, you know, vote for politicians that are pro-farm, pro-agriculture, that are going to defend family farms, and, you know, not build data centers on top of farms and stuff like that. Alright guys, so we're here at the show. This truck right here does a lot of the pulls locally here. Last year they dynoed at like 900 horsepower, and got TNT performance here. Engines, transmissions, lift kits, wheels, tires, welding. Taking vehicles from lazy to crazy. Check it out. They already started the pulls, so can't register right now, but I wanted to show you guys some of the trucks. Check it out. This one's got a worn bumper on it, or worn winch. Check this thing out.
Okay, I'm gonna turn around.
This is funny.
This doesn't go anywhere. Very similar. Where's the wheel? Oh. That is like the 6th.
It's Jeeps for you. It's the ZR2 2500. It's real nice. This old Bronco here. And we got these lowered F-150s. This one's Whipple supercharged right here. this one here, check it out. Wow. Wow, this thing is crazy. Mint. And here's Fred. This truck looks familiar. I think I've seen it somewhere before. Next to the Power Stroke again, just like last year, just a different truck. Check that out, that's cool. Same truck as last year I was parked next to with Betsy. Cool. She's nice and shiny. Cummins here. It's hell of an offset, look at that. Wow, crazy. Got this one here, he was here last year, it's a LLY. This one makes a lot of power. Square body here. Get some videos here.
That's why you pay that money here. Don't be a puss. I don't know, my ears hurt. Yeah, don't be a puss.
Got the Duramax shirt. There's Fred. Right next to the 6.0 Power Stroke, same as last year. Isn't that funny?
We still got a lot of things going on, and the beer tent is still open. So the night is not over yet here at our 10th annual Truckers for Hope to benefit Hope for Hayes. And we will be back again tomorrow. The gates will open at 10 a.m. We will have a truck parking and 4x4 show entry all day. Our 4x4 ruler of the road competition will go all day. TNT performance will have our dyno up and running from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're going to have our 4x4 truck pulls at noon tomorrow. Kids Day is 11 to 2. We'll have our kids pedal pool competition at 2 p.m. Registration will open at 1. We'll have our 4x4 pools at noon tomorrow. The registration for that is at 11 a.m. We'll have a registration at 4. Chad Brock will be on the main stage at 8:15 tomorrow evening. Then we will have our light show at 9:30, our fireworks at 9:45, and John Barry will take the stage at 10 p.m. tomorrow night. We hope you're having a...
Check this out, guys. It's pretty cool. Look at the U-bolts and the painted leaf springs. Got the track bars. Real nice. Let's look at the rear ends of these trucks. I like looking at rear ends. Wow, it's packed over here. Look at those chicken lights. Sounds so good.
Signed up, more coming in. Like I said, it's $20.
sunset. Wow. Look at that. So amazing. Can't find the promoters for the show because I came a little bit late, so I'm afraid to just park next to the semis on my own, but they're doing the light show over there. So unfortunately tonight I won't be able to park next to the semis because I got here late. But tomorrow they said they'll get me in, so it'll be cool. So there's the light show, guys. I'm gonna head over there in a minute, get some footage. Looks crazy. And then here's Fred. Some really mean pickups here, guys. Got some 1,000 horsepower pickups. I'm pretty much the only one right now with my lights on. Just me. Bunch of vendors in there. There's the light show. Hopefully I can get in tomorrow. They said I could do it, but hopefully I can get in tomorrow, which will be good because that's the finale. That's when they have the fireworks. insane. Hope I can park here tomorrow. That would be so cool. Some of these trucks are insane. Got the red dice in the mirror. That paint job, so cool. Love the old trucks. Wow. Look at all those Peterbilts. this green one here. Pretty cool. Chrome, insane. Marker lights. Wow. Nuts. Just kicked on. It's insane. Wait, free fire. Looks nice.
Somebody else's underwear would be in my drawer.
It's good
and it
stuff.
wouldn't be mine. This thing, so cool. Alright guys, so that was day one of Truckers for Hope. Hopefully tomorrow they'll let me park by the semis. That'll be really cool. But I'm gonna head home now, and tomorrow they're gonna do the dyno and the ruler of the road competition, which is gonna have the sled pulls and dirt drags. So tomorrow's gonna be pretty busy. So I'm super excited to see how all these different trucks do on the dyno. It's gonna be really cool. All right, guys, so that's it for day one of the Truckers for Hope show. Stay tuned for part two. I'm excited to see what's going to happen at the dyno, and the big pulls are tomorrow for the pickups, so that'll be cool. And they're going to do another light show and fireworks, so super excited about that. So until the next time, check out my off-roading and truck playlist for all my truck content, and take care. God bless, and don't forget the 3 P's: prepare, practice, and persevere.